Hi everyone, my name is Holly and welcome back to another episode of Should You Read It? Here I give you my honest review and first impressions on all of the new book releases, and today I have a spooky one for you, and hopefully it's been on your radar, and that is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. Now this book totally took me by surprise. I was sort of interested in it because of the horror aspect and not so much the subject material when it comes to the very religious and witchy plot, but I actually enjoyed it so much more than I thought I would. I'm not the biggest witch fan. The horror gothic vibe is what really turned me onto it. It's not your generic witch Halloween book. It is a straight up horror thriller in a very mature way with a chilling atmosphere and tons of blood. Do not underestimate the blood. Now, it's been a while since I've fallen head over heels for a horror book. Okay, well, let's be honest. It's been since Mexican Gothic. It freaking blew my mind. This is a fantastic open and shut reading experience. Well, even though it's on the shorter side, hovering around 350 pages, it is so high quality and enjoyable with minimal filler, and it's physically gorgeous. So we're following Emmanuelle, who was born a curse. She lives in a village that is incredibly religious. In fact, at the very beginning, she is partaking in what is called a Sabbath, where they literally slay a lamb and drip the blood on the villagers. There's a man called the Prophet, who I was legit scared of. He really reminded me of the antagonist from the video game A Plague's Tale.
You feel it too, don't you? But it scares you.
All of his wives have this holy seal cut between their eyebrows, so yes, as soon as you start this book, and I'm talking about the very first page, you realize it's going to be incredibly dark. It's sinister, it's very cult-like, and Emmanuelle sticks out like a sore thumb, not only because of her dark skin tone, but because she believes that she is full of sin. All she wants to do is herd sheep. Me too, girl. Now Emmanuelle's family is incredibly poor. They are literally on the brink of ruin, all because their family history is connected to the Dark Wood, which is the forest surrounding the village. And Emmanuelle has always had a strange affinity to it. The main character actually really reminds me of a dark-skinned Lydia from Beetlejuice. We are told at one point that while she's herding sheep in the eerie fog, she starts singing a hymn that she learned at a funeral. She's pretty grim and badass. I say that though, but there really isn't too much combat in action scenes. The main character is really just trying to survive the environment that she lives in by being clever and also rebellious. She's sneaking around quite a bit. It actually gives you a genuine feeling that you're in the restricted section the entire time you're reading. It all makes the main character and also some side characters feel very small compared to the church. But the author still keeps it very briskly paced. It was like a shot of fresh air. It kept my attention the entire time. I mean, the whole witch purging plotline, yeah, of course, that's a pretty cool concept, but it was honestly how the author did it. I thought for sure she was going to go toward this sad, depressing historical accuracy until I read it, and then things became very over the top and twisted. I really don't want to give anything away. I'm trying so hard to be as vague as possible because the story was just so fascinating to learn. It was kind of like reading an old folktale the entire time, or it kind of felt like reading scary stories while around a campfire and then those stories become reality. That's the kind of vibe this book gives off. The writing is great, and it is even more insinuated by the hair-raising horror-inspired metaphors. Now, there's actually magic in this book, which I didn't expect it to have at all, and it comes in the form of gifts. So some people are gifted with healing, or they can determine truth from falsehood. All of the gifts are very realistic in the sense that there's not like, I cast my fireball at you. It's all very subtle and connected to the holy protocol. Though it is very rarely seen in the actual book, it's mentioned quite a few times, and I think it would have been super rad if we got to see more of the magic. Honestly, launching myself into the sun would have been a lot less stressful than reading the final chapters of this book. But even through all of that intensity, I do feel like the ending was a little bit sudden and wrapped up a little bit too quickly for my taste. And some things toward the end I felt like were a little bit too convenient for our main character, but those are very small crumbs within the grand scheme of things. So, at the end of the day, should you read this book? If you're into sinister witches, bloody everything, and a plague-ridden environment, definitely check this book out. So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of Should You Read It? I gave you my pros and cons and my personal opinion. I really want to hear what you guys think down below in the comments. This book just came out on Tuesday, so I would love to hear your thoughts. I did get a review copy, which I'm incredibly grateful for, but nothing is better than a surprise book that I can put on your radar. Of course, if you have anything else for me, you can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter at HollyKnees and on Instagram at HollyGuardsBooks. And if you learned anything in today's video, be sure to give me a thumbs up because it helps me out so much. And until we meet again, happy reading.